So g'day guys, today we're speaking with one of the fastest rising guitarists in the country, Rohan of I Built the Sky. G'day mate, cheers for speaking with me.
Oh, no problem. Happy to be here.
Awesome. So in just a few short years, you've been able to build quite a sizable following here and overseas. What do you attribute to your success so far?
I like to think it's quality of content. I think that's the key. You know, if you spend time on the creative process and put out your best work, hopefully it catches on.
Yeah, absolutely. It's easy to hear that you've got like a bunch of different influences just by the way you lay your songs and you use different melodies and rhythms. What would you say are your main influences?
I reckon Misha Mansour from Periphery. I think that's pretty obvious. I just love, his super rhythmic style and crazy guitar playing, and that's definitely a starting point for me. Another one I'd say would be Cloud Kicker, who does a lot of the layering and more drawn out sort of stuff. But I mean, I take influence from everything I hear, really, so.
Yeah, absolutely. And so how do you put it all down? Like, I know you do everything, don't you? Do the writing, the recording. Like, can you tell us a little bit about your process?
Yeah, I just basically start off with a fairly simple drum groove, like a 4/4 drum groove, and just try to riff out. So I spend time just trying to get creative on the guitar and, try to keep it fairly simple in that regard and just focus on a riff, and then go from there. So once I get a riff, then I can start to try to piece another section on and so on and so forth, and it just keeps going and until you sort of have a bit of a song on your hands.
Absolutely. I've heard plenty of solo artists in the past say that one of the hardest things about doing it on your own is that you've got to make all the decisions yourself. I mean, it's not just the writing, it's the touring, the publishing, and that seems to be a bit of a burden for them. But for you, you seem to like that side of it. Is that a true statement?
Yeah, definitely. I love that. I think it's a good motivator because it's like, if something doesn't get done, there's no one to blame but yourself, So I like it. I find it motivates me and keeps me on track, and I actually think it's like it makes the process quicker, in my opinion, because if you've got 4 other members, and they've all got to deal with life and all that sort of stuff, and so it tends to hold you back. I reckon that's just my experience.
For sure. So what about when you're working on like a new track and you're sort of stuck on it? Do you ever bring in a second pair of ears just to have a listen and give you some feedback?
Yeah, I got a good friend of mine that I send stuff to and say, what do you reckon of this? And they'll say, oh yeah, cool, or whatever, give me a bit of feedback and that. So yeah, there's definitely a couple of people I show various drafts of riffs and stuff like that. Yeah.
Awesome. And so, speaking of new tracks, you're currently working on a new album. How's that one coming along?
Yeah, it's going really well. Pretty happy with the progress. It's taking a while, but that's just the nature of it, I'm happy with what I got, and I'm really looking forward to showing everyone stuff I've been working on.
Awesome. How would you say it compares to your older stuff?
Just better. It's just better. It's just better. Like it's the mixing and that sort of stuff. I've definitely progressed there. I think, as you go, you develop your ears and all that sort of stuff. So I think I'm improving on that aspect, and just think I'm spending the time needed to get the best out of the songs and all that sort of stuff.
Awesome. And so, are you going to continue your trend of naming every track after a cloud?
Yeah, and as much as I can. It's just, it's fun to have a bit of a theme sort of thing.
Absolutely. You've got to be running out of names by now, though. God, how many types of clouds are there?
That's it. That's the question I get, every day pretty much. What am I going to do when I run out of cloud names? But actually, there's a lot of cloud names, so
awesome.
I'm not
so
really
sweet
worried.
For a couple more albums then.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty sweet. Other than that, I'm going to be looking to what other elements are in the sky, I guess.
Yeah, well, that's it. There's no shortage. So touring-wise, you recently did a mini Australian run. Like you did, was it Melbourne and Sydney, I think? How'd they go?
Yeah, really, really good. It was awesome. It was a lot of fun. And it was good to, finally play at a different state. Like that was the first time for me ever. So it was really cool, really good experience. Definitely gives me a taste for it, you know.
Cool. So can we expect a full Australian tour maybe later in the year?
Yeah, definitely. That's the ultimate aim. So
awesome. I read in one of your recent interviews that you're also pretty interested in heading to the US. Have you got any plans for that?
That's something that's an ongoing goal, and I really want that to happen. But it's not easy to make that sort of stuff happen. But yeah, it's something that I want to do. So it's hard to say. But it's something I really, really want to do. So I'll do whatever I can to make it happen for sure.
Awesome. Now, obviously, you're a solo artist. What are you going to do about, like, even when you're just touring Australia? Are you going to bring a band with you, or are you going to find guys in each place to do it with?
That's a good point. Yeah, there is that possibility. If I can get friends to help me, then it just makes it a lot more comfortable.
Yeah,
which is what I've done. Which is what I've done for the last times I've played. I've just had friends, super talented friends, jump in and help out. So that's been really awesome. If I was to play internationally, then that's a whole new discussion because obviously all the costs involved in getting members over. It'd be a interesting idea to try to source out a band over there, but it's also super risky.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's something I'd have to heavily debate once the time comes, I suppose.
I'd say one of the biggest benefits of being a solo artist is all the different musicians that you actually get to work with. Have you found just working with all these different types of guys has changed you as a performer and a player?
I reckon throughout the years, yes, but not so much in this project now. Like I'm fairly like stable or whatever. What's the word I'm looking for? I'm fairly I don't even know the word to explain it, but when you're learning and developing, like playing with other musicians is the key thing. I reckon it's how you learn and pick up new things and that sort of thing. So I've definitely learned tons and tons from that over the years for sure.
Absolutely. And so, just to finish up, obviously you're an extremely talented guitarist as well as a multi-instrumentist, but I'm most interested in your guitar advice. We're at ARMI, we teach young kids how to play different instruments and trying to inspire them to live their dreams. Do you have any advice for young budding guitarists out there?
In terms of
technique, performance, whatever, yeah, everything.
On guitar?
Yeah.
I'd say listen to as much different styles of music. Don't get stuck into listening to just one style because you'll learn tons from listening to other different styles. Like, for me, I studied jazz for 5 years. Like, I can't play a jazz song, but I did study jazz for 5 years, and I use that information in a metal context.
Yeah.
So you can take different things from other styles and apply it into rock and metal and that sort of thing. I think that's a huge thing to consider.
For sure. All right, well, thank you very much for your time, mate. Good luck with the rest of the year. Can't wait to hear this album, and yeah, hopefully we see you on the road pretty soon.
Oh, awesome. Thank you very much for the call.
No.